Too much math? On Hero System Explained. Before I get started, I'd like to give a shout out to MonkeyBiz. MonkeyBiz is the place where I get my comics, games, and accessories, and graphic novels. If you want to give them a shout, go to their Facebook page at MonkeyBiz Spokane, or you can give them a call by the number shown here, or give a drive by on Nevada Street in Spokane. One of the formulas we're going to be dealing with when it comes to math in the hero system is the skill roll, which is 9 plus characteristic divided by 5. And that will give you your die roll or less that you need to make. There is a skill roll table that will show you what your skill roll will be based on your characteristic, as shown here. This is from the basic rulebook, but it's available in the main rules as well. This will eliminate the need to figuring out your skill roll. Skill rolls can be modified by the GM, of course, usually between -3 to +3. But your GM will let you know, and you can make that modifier. Just like you would in any other role-playing game, you would have to take those adjustments. You can make a little table on your character sheet for each of your skills if you like, because you're automatically going to have what your die roll is or less in most circumstances and most character sheets. Then you can know whether you made or not make the roll. As a GM, I typically don't even give the modifier. I just let the person make the roll, and they say, hey, I made the roll by X amount. And then I can make the necessary descriptive of how well they made or failed the roll. This is the big stumbling block when it comes to character creation, and it tends to be very intimidating for new players and some of us more experienced players and GMs as well, is the advantages and limitations. If math is not your good suit, which is not for everybody, and you don't want to make a spreadsheet and you don't want to use Hero Designer or use character creation cards or anything else, you always can use these tables, which are included in the basic rules as well as the main rules of the Hero system for 6th edition and previous editions, is the advantages and limitations tables. You figure it out based on your active points, which is your base points of the power. Let's say a 10-6 blast is 50 points. And you want to make it half endurance, which is a quarter limitation. So you look at your quarter limitation, 50 points, it's 62 active points. Okay. And then you got it, 62, you're done. But let's say you have a limitation on it. Let's say it's an inaccessible focus. An obvious inaccessible focus is 1/4 limitation, so you look and you're going like, I'm 60, it's 62. There's no 62 on the list. I can't do this. I don't know how to do the math. But pretty simply, just round down to 60, take the quarter limitation, it's 48, and you're done. And if the GM and you decide, well, when it comes to your points, just round it up to the nearest 5 points. You can do that as well. That's a personal choice. But like I said, if math's not your good suit, these tables will help you out quite a bit. Of course, you can always use Hero Designer, which will figure it out for you, or you can do a spreadsheet that will allow you to do that as well. And then you go to me and say, hey, but Ed, I can't figure out what my 2-hit is. It's always going to change and all this and that. Simple enough. True, it is 11 plus your OCV plus any levels you have minus the DCV. You can go with all that junk, and that you don't really have to go that far. What you can do is you can refer to this chart. You can figure out your OCV add your levels, and you figure it out. If you have, let's say, a 7 and you have 2 levels, it makes you 9. And then you're going to get 9 versus a 9 is always going to be 11. And as a GM, typically I do not tell what the DCV of the opponent is, but they make their roll, and it's like, okay, let's say you roll really good. Let's say you roll a 5. That's a DCV of 15. Boom, done. But if your GM that has issues with figuring out the math, simple enough. You can just figure out your target's DCV, whether they're dodging or not, figure out those modifiers, and you're done. And as always, modifiers are always optional. It's your game. You can include what you want. Like me, I don't typically use like hit locations because it just bogs down the combat. And so you could just do that. Just do a straight roll with no modifiers. But simple pluses or minuses, usually no more than 5, are not going to be that difficult for you. Another way you can reduce math in your game is using the Stagger Effect rule, which specifies you get 3 points of effect per die instead of rolling the dice and having to count them all. Also, if it's an attack, such as a blast, you do 1 body per die. If it's a killing attack, use the same as 3 points of effect. If you're doing half dice, it's 1 point. If it's a +1 or -1 on the die roll, it's 0. So if you do a 3d6 blast, you do 9 points of damage and 3 body. Or if it's a 3d6 mind control, you do 9 points of effect. Same thing if it's a 3d6 killing attack, it does 9 points of body. Here's a little table I created for those that need it. Basically, you have your dice of effect for normal attacks, mind controls, things of that nature. It gives you the standard effect, which is the SCR, and the body if it's a normal attack. Now, some of my final thoughts regarding math in the hero system. Is it crunchy? Yes. Is it any more crunchy than other systems? I personally don't think so. It's pretty basic math, which I know it's not everybody's forte, but when it comes to these kind of games, there's always some basic math involved. Be it D&D, hero system, Mutants and Masterminds, I can go on. But the thing is this. There is ways to simplify it if you want to. Just like any other system. You can customize it the way you want. Can you get rid of math totally? Not at all. You can't get rid of it. You have to subtract hit points, or you have to subtract a hit, or you have to subtract that you use bullets. There's always going to be some math involved. All I can say is use what helps you make this a simpler game for you if you need to, or play it as is. But there are tools in the hero system that will help you along in these lines. Not to say the hero system community, either through herogames.com, through the forum, or through the hero system fan page on Facebook. There's always ways and people that will help you get through difficulties you have in your game. And be a hero and hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends.